my name is Anthony and welcome back to Skill Stacking. And if you're new here, thanks for watching. And today's video is gonna start off where the last one left off, which was, we finished installing this stone and now we're going to clean this up, this area. I took a piece of Formica off this wall. The way I'm going to attack it is I'm gonna clean this up, see how it looks. If it looks decent, I'm gonna leave it the way it is and just put the microwave back because the microwave covers most of it. I understand why they put the piece of Formica because of these holes all the way around, but the microwave is so close, it's gonna be covered. I just gotta cut this screw right here and clean this up. And in this corner, I used to have a piece of Formica like this one underneath. So what I'm gonna do is clean this up and put that piece of Formica back because you do see that on this side of the wall when the microwave is installed. But it doesn't end there. I also want to fix this down here. As you can see, the cabinets are white and the bottom is gray. And in that little spot right there, you could see that it chipped and broke. And that's where I started to use cleaning material to see if it rips off the glue. And it did. So what I'm gonna be doing also is ripping out that gray Formica because it's ugly and cleaning up what's behind it. Also, going to be adding a piece of iron-on edge banding, I think it's called, to cover that up because that looks no good. This video is gonna be a lot of repetition, just me cleaning up. So I think in this video, I'm just gonna be doing a lot of time lapse because it's just cleaning. It's just goof off, 2 rags, wet and dry, a knife and just scraping. So nothing to it, but to do it. That came out great. A little bit of elbow grease and maybe a quarter of that goof off was able to take off all that glue residue, old glue residue. I'm happy with how it came out. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna put the Formica just because it's gonna be hidden by the microwave. And I don't think it's worth the extra work of cleaning off the back of that piece of Formica just to cover up something that's not gonna be viewed. On the other hand, the one up there, I'm gonna have to clean it well. Gonna have to clean the back of the Formica, and I'm going to be using contact cement to glue it back on. So let's move the camera around so you guys can see this side. As you guys saw, this piece of Formica was just laying there, just like that. What I just thought of is cleaning this up, the front and the back, and getting a piece of wood that fits in this space, screwing it in through here where the screws can't be seen, and then gluing this right on top of it. Just pasting it. Just like that. And then instead of it being able to flap in like that, the wood will be able to hold it right in place. So it doesn't have to be perfect where it's hitting the wall. It could be off by like 1/8 of an inch, because what matters is the strength to be able to hold the Formica. So let me go down to the basement and cut a piece of plywood so it could fit in here. to skill stacking, where something as simple as Formica just gets a little more complicated. As you guys can see, we put the wood blocking so the Formica can sit flush to it, not having the caulk to depend on anymore. We hammered this in the bottom. We're not gonna put any screws. I was gonna put pocket hole screws to drill it in, but that ain't going anywhere. That's not gonna see any foot traffic or anything, so I think it's gonna be good like that. Now what we have to do is clean up this piece of Formica and glue it in place. And what we're gonna use to glue is some barge contact cement. It's in! Everything went back in place. I had a little bit of trouble putting in the microwave, but I figured it out, got it in. The only bad thing about installing the microwave now is that when the painters come, I have to remove it so they could paint behind it and be able to tape this area over here. But it looks good. So let me know what you think about this corner. Looks much cleaner and better. And to know that there's a piece of wood behind it makes me feel good. So now we're gonna move to the baseboard. Now that was a complete nightmare. I was able to get all the glue off, but a knife wasn't really doing the work. I had to do it with my hands and the goof off. I managed to get all the glue off, but as you guys can see down here, that's the melamine that was chipped. So there's no reason for me to start ripping up this one and the other one if I have to put a piece of Formica on. I'll just buy the Formica for all three sides and just call it a day. I was hoping I could save a little bit of money by just ripping it off, cleaning this up and getting away with it. But with this down here looking like that, we can't have that. So I'm just gonna buy the Formica, glue it on like you guys saw earlier with contact cement, and just call it a day. Let's move on to the next step. So we're gonna move to the edge banding. I have a little bit of edge banding left from another project I was doing. So I'm just gonna grab my iron and iron this on. Simple as that. So that went in perfectly. The reason why I use this jig is because Formica is very fragile, as you can see. It doesn't cut well with a knife just like that. So I built this so that I have a guide to glide my blade across and have that perfectly straight cut. And that's how I was able to do that. I did not order this online because it's not that it's expensive. It's $60 for 8 feet by 3 feet. But as you guys saw, I don't need much. So I called a local millworking company and they had scraps. So if you're looking to do the same project and you need Formica, call your local millworker. You know, you might have one right around the block. So call him and find out if he has any spare Formica that they could give you for free or for some chump change, like 50 cents, $2.50, something like that. So that's how I was able to get this. Now that the base is looking white and great, it's time to move to the next step. And that is right up here. Is this hole and this hole. And those holes are for the central air. As you guys can see in my home, I do not like trim. So around the door, I got rid of all the trim. As far as the base, I made a recessed base. Maybe you guys saw that in my last video. So when it came to the central air grills, I had to do something without trim. And that's what you get. You just get a grill that looks like it's built inside the wall. And that starts off like this. These are normal AC grills, but are tapeable. So they have a tiny edge where the painter's gonna put the compound and it just disappears and blends with the wall. So it starts off looking ugly because we're gonna put some screws on the face. But as soon as the painter comes in, he's gonna blend this out and it's gonna look like so. So let's get to it. The microwave is mounted and this side of the cabinet is looking much better. Down here, we have the Formica installed, and instead of having gray, now we have white. And up here, the two grills are looking clean and sleek. And all that's left is to get the painter. So the rest of the work that has to get done, that's the painter's work. That's out of my hands. I do not like painting. I do not like taping. I don't want nothing to do with that. Although we have nothing for us to do in the kitchen, it's in the painter's hands, we still have work on the channel. So on the next video, we will be going back down to the basement to finish that project. If you learned something new in this video, you can show me by giving me a like. If you have any comments, questions on anything, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to respond. And if you're interested in seeing what work I have in the basement or what work I have coming up, consider subscribing. I have a lot of projects and I'd love for you guys to join me. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.